Hello everyone, welcome back to our lesson 3. Okay, just like usual, I'm going to wait a few minutes so more people can join, okay, and they didn't lose the content. So if you are already watching us, please let us know, send a message here on the YouTube chat, okay. It is really important for us to have this sharing of information, this sharing of what you guys are finding about the class. It is really important for us. Okay, guys. So welcome to this third class, this third days of class. We are really happy. We got into the half of this first part of the course. Okay, it is always important to remember that this is only the first part of the project. Okay, then you guys will have the mentorship program which we are going to be with you guys for 90 days, working with you guys, talking about your businesses, about your difficulties. So we will be working together to improve your results. Okay? I'm going to wait a few minutes. I think if we wait like 5 to 10 minutes, it would be great. So we are live for 2 minutes. I'm going to wait. You will get the minutes 10, okay, and then I start talk with the content. I don't want anything losing anything, okay? I don't want anyone losing anything here. So I'm going to wait a few more minutes. A seguir, Shaiparol is saying, nice to meet you, dear Besouro, the Fomento team. Nice to meet you. It is a pleasure for us to be here illustrating this class. It is really important for us being in other countries, making the difference around the world. This is our mission, this is our goal, and we are really happy to have you guys in here participating, commenting. It is really important for us. Okay, guys. I just want to remember, just like usual, I'm going to wait a few more minutes so more people can join. Okay, we are live for 40, for 4 minutes. So I'm going to wait more 6 minutes to start talking. Okay. If you are watching us, please let us know if you already registered. Okay, it is really important to make this register. Okay. If you have not made it yet, please let us know. Use the YouTube chat to communicate with us. If you had any trouble, please let us know. Use the Telegram group. We have changed our group, okay? Because we had a problem with the automation to send you guys the invites to join the the group. Okay, so we have entered you guys group, which is the group Next Gen Entrepreneurs Ethiopia. Okay, so we have joined this group. We need you guys please to make the registration, to make the register, and then we also are going to send you guys the links to fill out every card, okay? We have seen how to fill out the first and the second one. Mm, at today's class, we are going to fill out together the third one, okay? So please pay attention on that. It is really important to participate in the mentorship program, and you guys only will be available, you guys only will be able to participate in the mentorship program if had you guys had made the register. Okay, so it is really important for you guys to register and also to fill out the card then. Okay, let me see. We have 8 people, 9 people now. Please send hi at the chat if you are already watching us. You are still facing problems with the registration. What kind of problems? Because we sent the link at the Telegram group. I'll ask you as a guide. Sorry if I'm talking your guys' names wrong, okay? But Shifro, if you are still facing problems, please write the Telegram group, okay? So someone of our team can enter in contact to you. Please send a message at the group Next Gen Entrepreneurs saying that you cannot register, okay? Please send a message there. Don't forget to do it, okay? Because once you send a message in there, we will help you. I'm saying that Edon is saying hello. Gosa Asnake is saying, please, would you mind if you help me regarding the information? What kind of information? The information about the register and the cards? Do you mean something like that? Let's see how much time we are live. We are live for 9 minutes now. So I'm going to wait only 1 minute and I'll start with the content. Okay, guys. Please, if you are already watching us, let us know. I know some of you are going to watch this class now live, and some of you are going to watch it later. Okay, but it is really important for you guys to watch the classes and to fill out every card. So let me see. I mean regarding the registration. So just like I said to Shifro, please send a message at the group Next Gen Entrepreneurs. You guys are at the group Next Gen Entrepreneurs Ethiopia at the Telegram. It's the same group that we have sent the YouTube link so you guys could join. Please send a message up there saying that you guys cannot register. Okay? So someone of our team is going to help you guys to make the register. Okay, but please let us know. Send a message at the group. Okay, because here at the YouTube we cannot talk very well. We cannot call you guys in private. Okay, so we cannot explain too much about how to register, about how to fill out the cards. So please, if you are facing trouble to register or to fill out the cards or both too, please let us know. Send a message at the group, okay? And then we will help you guys to to make this register and also to to fill out every card, okay? So hello guys, this is Elias Abraham, and I'm happy to be here with you to take some great points about peace building through entrepreneurship Ethiopia. So thank you, Elias. You're welcome. You are here since the day one. So thank you for being here those 3 days. Dr. Atinafu Regasa is saying, hello guys, I am Dr. Atinafu Regasa from Samara, Afar, Ethiopia, from Samara University. Welcome, Atinafu. Welcome, Dr. Atinafu Regasa. So I think now we can start talking. Okay, we are already at the minute 10. So I'm going to start with the content. Okay, again, I just want to remember you guys that it is really important for you being part of the mentorship program. Okay, because this project is divided in two stages. Okay, being the first stage, those 5 days of classes that we are having this week, and then we have the mentorship program. I know some of you already heard about this, but if someone watched this class later, I need to say those warnings so people know that they need to make a register, and then they need to fill out every card. Okay, at the end of every class, guys, I explain how to fill out the cards. Okay, you guys only need to come back here at the YouTube link. Okay, and in our channel, the channel of Besouro de Fomento Social. Okay, we have our recorded classes. So if you are having any trouble about how to fill out every card, you will only need to send a message, okay? And it will be really important for us, okay? It is really important that you guys make this register, okay? So let's begin with the content. Okay, we are going to talk about the 4 P's of marketing today. We are going to talk about product, price, place, and promotion. Okay, it is really important, guys, to understand that those are the 4 pillars of our business. Okay, because once you guys start dominating those aspects, you guys will have a better way of thinking on how to make those marketing, okay, and on how to work. Okay, so let's move on with the content. Let's start now. I just want to remember again, if you are facing any trouble, please send a message at our Telegram group. The group is Next Gen Entrepreneurs Ethiopia. Okay, so if you guys are not at this group, also please let us know. Okay, but we are going to send you guys warnings in there. You guys also will know about when is going to happen the classes, the weekly classes. So this is really important. Okay, guys? So let's start with the content. So just like I said, the four P's of marketing, they are the four fundamental pillars of any marketing strategy. Okay. So the four P's of marketing are first product. Okay. And when we talk about product, we are talking about every single thing that we sell. Do we sell a service? Do we sell a product? It doesn't matter. Okay. We need to know everything about our product. Okay, we need to master it so we can become masters. Okay, we need to be masters on what we are selling. Okay, so we need to gather information about our product. We need to understand what do we need to sell, okay, and why do we are going to sell that for that customers. Okay, we need to know how to explain to someone what they need to do. Okay, it is really important to understand that you guys will need to understand what you're selling. Okay, so you need to know every single detail about its designs, about what characteristic that made it a differentiator. Okay, this is really important. Okay, I used to work in a shoe store. Okay, and when I used to work at this shoe store, I could learn a little bit about those shoes, and I learned about every single brand and what they had as a differentiator. So we have Nike, we have Nike, we have Adidas, we have Puma, for example, and every single one of those products will have its own details. It will have it it owns it owns qualities. Okay, and we need to know how to get into our customers. Okay, and how you guys will sell that to your customers. Sorry guys, I'll interrupt the class because Gosa Esnik is saying what is the card. So at the end of the class, when we get into the end of the class, okay, like let's say in 1 hour and a half, okay, I'm going to explain you guys how to fill out the online cards. Okay, you guys will have online cards about the classes. Okay, and you guys need to respond them so you guys can be able to join the mentorship program. Okay, so it is really important you guys join this mentorship program. Okay, and I need you guys to fill out with information so you guys can be able to participate. Okay, so I need you guys to fill out every card. You guys will receive the link to fill out those cards at the group. Okay, someone from our team is going to send you guys the links. Okay, so please pay attention on that. Okay, I'm going to explain how to fill out every card. I have already explained how to fill out the first and the second one. This is recorded at the lesson 1 and 2. Okay, you guys can get the video at our channel, in our YouTube channel. Okay, which is Besouro de Fomento Social. Okay, it is really important, you guys, to enter in there to watch the end of the class and to fill out the cards. Okay, but it, there's no problem. Okay, we are going to send you guys a explanation with the link. Okay, we are going to send you a archive with with a explanation on how to fill out this card too. Okay, so those cards are online cards that you guys will respond And once you guys respond every single one of them, you guys will be able to join the mentorship program. But you only need to care about filling out the cards if you guys have already made the registration, okay? But Kevin, I'm having trouble to make the registration. Please send a message at the Telegram group so we can know that, okay? We can only help you guys if we know what you guys are passing through. Okay, so please send a message at the group Next Gen Entrepreneurs Ethiopia. Okay, so if you are facing any trouble, send us a message. Okay, so let's come back to the content, and we have talked about the product. So the product is what we are selling. It doesn't matter if it is a service or if it is a product. Okay, we will need to sell them anyway. Okay, so we have price. Okay, and when we talk about price, is about how much we will charge people from our products or services. Okay, it is really important, guys, to understand that if you do not price your product correctly, you will probably face a lot of problems. Okay. One of them is that your company will never grow. Okay. So we will be always seeking to, to make your company bigger, but you won't be able to do that. Okay. Because you won't be enough money to do that. Okay. So it is really important to price correctly because of that. Also, if you make a wrong specification of your product or your service, if you need to make a change to make it correct, so let's say you charge people $10 to sell a glass of juice. Okay, let's say you sell a glass of juice for $10, and let's say you are charging too many. Sorry, let's say you are charging too few. Okay, so let's say you are going to raise those glass of juice and you are going to charge now $20. Okay, because of that raise, you probably will lose some clients. Okay, so it is really important, guys, to always do the right pricing. Okay, and to understand how much do we need to sell to get into our goals, okay, to pay our bills and etc. I'm going to talk soon about that, okay? But it is really important, guys, to understand how to price. Okay, you guys are going to learn this today, and this is really important. Okay, I'm saying that Weldo Remhadsian is saying, to those of you on trouble with registration, register by a PC or a desktop because I had those issues too. Thank you, well do, for this tip. Okay, it is really important, guys. If you guys are facing trouble to register the cell phone, use a computer so you guys can do that in easy way. Okay, so it is really important, guys, to use a computer. If you guys are not doing that in a computer, please try to do it. I think it will solve you guys problem. But if you guys still are facing trouble to register, please let us know. And if you do not have a computer, there's no problem. Okay, send us a message, just like I said, at the group Next Gen Entrepreneurs. Okay, someone from our team are going to contact you, and then we are getting into the register. Okay, so let's go back to the content and let's talk about place. Okay, so we have talked about the product, so about what am I selling. We talked about price and how much I will charge my clients. And now we are going to talk about place. Okay, place is where we are at. Okay, so where is my business location? I'm going to sell online. I'm going to sell on a physical store. This will make the total difference. Okay, so when we talked about place, it is important to think, where do my customer want me to be? Okay, where does my customers want me to get into them? Okay, so it is really important to understand how much having a good location it is important for your business. Okay, because some business doesn't even need a physical stores, but some do, some they do. Okay, so it is really important to make market researches, to talk with your target audience and understand where do they usually buy their stuff. Okay, so it is really important to start asking people if they already bought something like you are selling, and if you would sell them, if they would buy from you, and if they already bought something like that, where do they bought? They bought it online. They bought it on a physical store. Where did they bought that? Okay, and how much do they have paid for that? Okay, it is really important to understand this because you need to be where your clients want you to be. Okay, I used to have a I used to have a student from the here from Brazil, and she used to have a physical store. Okay, and but I could see that at her physical store she do not have a large flow of people. The most of the sales she used to make, they used to be when she goes to the church, when she was talking to their friends, when she was talking to their family. So I asked her, it is really important for you to have a physical location because you are spending money. Okay, because you need to pay rent, you need to pay water, you need to pay electricity. And we get into the point that we could see that it wasn't really great for her to have a physical store, and then she changed it into a internet one. Okay, so she started to sell it the marketplace of Facebook. Okay, so she could see a big difference the results. Okay, so it is really important, guys, to understand where does your customers want you to be. Okay, so they want to buy from a physical store, they want to buy online, they want to buy on Facebook, they want to buy on Telegram. It is really important to understand where does my customers want our business to be. Okay, so we have talked about product. So what am I selling? We have talked about price. How much does I charge my people? We have talked about place. So where does my location is? And now we are going to talk about promotion. Okay, guys. It is really important, guys, to understand that when we talk about promotion, we are talking about every single ad we make about our company. Okay, but every time we are talking about our company, we are already promoting it. Okay, so it is really important, you guys, to remember that you guys need to make a like a text which we call pitch. Okay, that you guys can presentate your company quickly and on an easy way so people can understand. Okay, so it is really important, guys, to start to pay attention on promotion. You guys need to understand your your target audience. Okay, because once you have understood your which is your target audience, you can communicate with them in a really big and assertive way. Okay, it is really important, guys, that you guys always seek to become more assertive to your target audience, and the most you guys get into your target audience, the better. Okay, so Those are the four pieces of marketing, okay? They are the four fundamental pillar of marketing strategy. So if you need to make any marketing strategy, you need to review your product, you need to review the price of your product, you need to review the place that you're going to make this marketing strategy, and you need to review your communication with your employees and with your customers. Okay? So let's move on here. So in here, guys, we are going to have some explanations about those aspects. Okay. So let's hear a little bit about product, price, place, and promotion. So first, when we talked about products, we need to ask ourselves, okay, how do we generate value for our customers with our product? Okay, so what is value? Okay, we have talked about price, but price is different from value. Okay, value is how much people can see qualities at our product or service that make them pay that much at that product. Okay, so let's say we are going to sell a very expensive product. If someone is paying for something which is expensive, probably they are expecting that our product will have a really great quality. Okay, so it is really important, guys, to understand that every time we price our product, we are also determining how good it is. Okay, so it is really important to make a position of our company, okay, and determine if you are going to charge people a lot, okay, or if we are going to charge people a few, okay. So it's really important, guys, to determine how much people will pay for our products, and we need to know how to explain why people are paying that much. Okay, so this is value. Okay, when we generate value, we are talking about qualities our product have, so people would buy from us. Okay, so it's basically when we use arguments, okay, to make people buy from us. Okay, so we are talking a little bit about persuasion. Okay, the second one is what is the unique selling proposition of your our product. Okay, and the third one is what are the design and feathers of the product. Okay, so you guys need to know every single detail and every single aspect you guys have in your product, and you need to detail them to your client. Okay, so it is really important, just like I said earlier, that you guys master your markets. Okay, so you guys need to understand everything about your market. You guys need to gather information about your market, about your product. Okay, what are my competitors doing? Okay, it's really important to make this study of your competitors too. Okay, so please pay attention on that. Okay, we also have price. Okay, so what are my competitors prices? So why is important my competitors prices? Okay, I think it is really important to know how much our competitors are charging, because let's say you are selling a glass of juice for $5. Okay, so you are selling your juice for $5. And let's say you have a competitor who sell it for $3. Okay, so $2 cheaper than you, and you have a another competitors who sell a glass of juice by $7, so $2 more than you. Okay, so when someone see someone selling anything below the price, so your first competitors who is selling the juice for $3, people will automatically assume that each juice has few qualities. Okay, so it will be a awful juice. For example, your juice that you are charging $5 is going to be a juice with medium quality, and your competitors who sell the juice for $7, the customers will think it will be a better juice with better quality because they are paying more, they are willing to have more quality. Okay, so it is really important to understand what are your competitors' prices so we can have a a position at the market. So my product is better, so I'm going to charge more. My product is the same as my competitors, so I'm going to charge the same. My product is has few qualities than my competitors, so I am going to charge people less than my competitors. Okay, so it is really important to understand your competitors' prices so you can define how much you are going to charge at your product. Okay, the second thing about price is what value does my customer perceive in my products and services. Okay, so it is really important to understand what kind of value your customers can see. Okay, because if you guys cannot see what people perceive at your products, this is a problem. Okay, you guys need to know the qualities people see at your product. For example, we were using juice as example in here. So let's say people say that your juice is really tasteful and it is made with fresh fruits. Okay, so if people are saying you that, you need to communicate that to other customers. Okay, so when someone new enter into your store, you're going to say, "Oh, people used to say that my juice is very very fresh. I use fresh fruits. People like the taste of it. People say that it is really tasteful." So you are going to use those arguments to make people buy from you. Okay. So how much are my customers willing to pay? Okay. It is really important to understand that too, because if we charge too much, people won't buy from us. And if we charge a little bit fewer than people are expecting, people will expect that our product does not work too. Okay, so it is really important to understand that too. If we are charging people too many, people will find the product is good, but if we are charging a few, people will think our product isn't great. Okay, so let's move on to place. So what is the location of my business? Okay, this is really important, guys, because once you guys change the location of your business, you can get into a larger flow of people. So it is really common that when you guys live in suburban locations, you guys will have a fewer flow of a small flow of people. Okay, so if you are going to open if you are going to open a business at the capital of your country, at the center of everything, let's say it is a really famous street where people from the entire country comes in to buy things. Okay, we have a lot of streets like that in São Paulo. Okay, so let's say you are at the center of your town. Okay, you are at the capital of your town. Okay, so at there you guys will have a large flow of people. If you are more far from the center of your town, you will have few people coming into your store. And there's no problem, okay? But that will change our strategy. Okay, if we have fewer clients, we need to charge them more so we can pay our bills. And if we have a large flow of people, we can charge people less and then get into more clients. So we can choose if we are going to win money at quantity. Okay, so I'm going to make a lot of sales and I'm going to earn a few on every sale, but if I have too many clients, it's going to be great. Okay, or I choose to make less sales. Okay, but when I make a sale, it worths the entire time that I do not. Okay, for example, we can talk like cars. Okay, so we have like cars like Ferrari, Lamborghini, okay, that are really expensive cars, okay, like Lamborghini, like Porsche. We have a lot of expensive cars, okay. Those companies who produce those cars, they do not sell a lot of cars a year. Let's say they sell like 10 Ferraris, okay? If they sell 10 Ferraris a year, they're going to make a lot of money, okay? But let's say another brand like Volkswagen. Let's say Volkswagen is selling 5,000 cars a year. But even if they sell 5,000 of cars a year, they do not make how much the Ferrari made in 10 sales because Ferrari they cost millions. Okay, every Ferrari costs more than a million, for example. But when we talk about the cheaper cars like Volkswagen, we have a fewer, they have more sales at the world, but they charge few at every car. So this is about strategy. Okay, it is really important to understand that your strategy is going to make the entire difference at your business. Okay, so it is really important. Okay, guys. So just like I said, what is the location of my business is really important. Where does my customers want to be served? So can I utilize all the sales channels that my customers want to have available? Okay, so it is really important to understand, just like I said earlier, where do your customers want you to be served? Okay, it is really important to understand because if clients want only to buy online, you won't have the need to have a physical store. Okay, and if people want to buy it from a physical store, you won't need to have too much promotion online. Okay, so now let's talk about the last P. We are going to talk about promotion. So how do I promote my business products and services? Okay, so just like that, you're going to ask, where do your customers want to be served? Okay, so if my customers want to be served online, I'm going to promote my business online. So if clients want to buy something at a physical store, I'm going to focus the offline promotion. Okay, so I can use leaflets, for example. I can use banners. I can use visiting cards. Okay, so it's really important to understand how will you promote your business, okay, and to get into your clients, where does they want you to be? Okay, so if they want you to be online, you're going to focus at the online promotion. And if they want to buy from a physical store, you are going to use the offline promotion. Okay, and there's no problem if you do both. Okay, but it is important to focus where your clients are. Okay, so my clients are physical. They buy at physical stores. I'm going to focus at physical stores. My clients buy online, so I'm going to focus to make those promotions online. Okay, so I'm going to promote at Facebook. I'm going to promote at Telegram. Okay, it is really important to understand what kind of social media your clients want you to be. Okay. So also it is important to understand how do I strengthen my brand image. Okay. And how do I create advertisement that generates sales? Okay, you guys need to make interactive posts so people can become interested by what you're posting, and then we are going to get into more people. Okay, it is really important to pay attention on that because let's say you have the right product, you charge the right price, and you have a perfect location, you have a perfect place. If you do not have a great promotion, you won't have a great day of sales. Okay, so it is really important to pay attention a lot at the promotion. Okay, but also it is important to pay attention on every single other P. Okay, because if we do not understand about our product, we cannot detail too much to our clients. Okay, because we won't know our product. So we need to know our product. We need to know our price. We need to know where the my customers want us to be. Okay, so we need to know what place we are going to be at, and we need to understand how to promote those other three. Okay, we need to promote the other three. That's why we need to master them too. Okay, we need to know every single detail so we can have any trouble. Okay. So Wondi Magen Alemayho, sorry if I misspell you guys' name, okay? I just said at the first and at the second class that you guys' name are really different from the names we have in Brazil, okay? But it is really important to to try to pronounce them for me, okay? So Wondi Magen Alemayho, I think is something close like that. If I misspelled it, please forgive me. Okay, so it's saying when someone opens a shop, maybe in the capital, even if in the center of the city, as a startup business, it is difficult to get access to pay for the shop rent. So, how can we handle this? So, I'm going to show you guys later how we are going to make always projection of sales. Okay, so we need to understand how much do we pay of bills every single month. Okay, and when we get into pricing, I think I can explain this better for you guys, but we are going to understand how many sales we need to make in a month to pay every single bill, like rent, like water, like electricity, like internet. Okay, we have the fixed costs, okay, which are the costs that do not change. Okay, so costs that we have to pay even if we haven't sell too much. For example, the rent, just like you said. Okay, and it is really important to understand how much do you earn at every sale. For example, let's say, just like the example I said in here, let's say you sell a juice for $5. Okay, so you are going to sell a juice for $5. And let's say you earn $2 at every sale. Okay, so if you earn $2 at every sale, you need to make you need to make some you need to make you need to divide how much do you pay of bills or how much do you earn at every sale. So if you sell a juice for $5, let's say you earn $2. So I'm going to divide how much do I pay for rent by how much I earn. So if I earn $2 and let's say I pay $1,000 of rent, I'll need to sell 500 glasses of juice a month to pay my bills. So I'm going to establish this goal, and I'm going to try to get into it. Okay? And that's how we are going to identify a market strategy, just like Solomon Timerga is saying up there. We are going to identify what do we need to do. So we are going to divide how much how much sales we need to make a day. So just like the example I said in here, let's say you need to pay 1,000 of bills. Okay, just an example. Okay, guys. So 1,000 of bills. Okay, I just put here on my calculator 1,000 divided by 2, which is how much we earn at every sale. So we get into 500 sales. Okay, just like you guys can see in here, 500 sales. Okay, if I need to make 500 sales, let's say I'm going to work 24 days a month. So I'm not going to work at at the I'm not going to work at the weekend. I'm only going to work from Monday to Friday. Okay, so 24 days. So I'm going to divide 500 for 25, and I get 21 glasses of juice by day. Okay, if you stop to think, 20 glasses of juice isn't that much. Okay, if you guys only will need to sell to 20 people a day. Okay, so what kind of strategy we are going to use to sell 20 glasses a day? Okay, so that's what you are going to do. You are going to understand how much do you need to pay, and you are going to make marketing strategies to get into your goals. But Kevin, I don't know how much am I going to sell if I'm in starting with my business now. So you can start selling to your friends, you can start to selling online, you can start to sell. So first, start to sell, okay? And you will start to get better at it. You will start to understand about your product. You will start to understand about your target audience. And then you can search for a location so you can rent. Okay. But let's say you already want to rent a place. You do not want to sell to your friends. You do not want to sell without having a store. So you will need to have a capital, okay? You need to have a reserve for at least, let's say, 5 months. So if you are paying 1,000 of rent, you will need at least to have 5,000 of savings, okay? So you can become more so you can become more safe. Okay, so it is really important to have these savings when you rent a store. Let's say you will have 2 months of paid bills. So if you pay 1,000 of bills, if you have $2,000, you already will have a little safety for 2 months. Okay, so if you get into the second month and you will see that you are only losing money, then you are going to close your store, and there's no problem. But you at least will have the money to pay that rent. Could you guys understand? Because it is really important to define how much we are going to pay of bills, and then we are going to make a strategy to get into that amount. Okay, so let's move on to the next part of our businesses. Okay, so when we talk about my product, just like I said earlier, we need to add value. Okay, most businesses are unable to differentiate themselves and add value. How can I do it in a new, better, or different way? How can I position myself authentically? The greater the value my customers receives, the higher the price I can charge. Okay, so just like I said earlier, it is really important to understand what can you do in a new, better, or different way? Okay. Or if you are not talking about a service, what can your product do in a new, better, or different way? So what are the aspects of it? What are the details of it? What are the design of it? Okay. It is really important to understand, guys, what you guys will use as an argument to make your clients pay the price you are charging them. Okay, so it is really important, guys. You guys add value. Okay, you can use a you can use, let's say, every sale you make, we are going to write a letter by hand, like thanking people from buying from us. This is a differentiator. Let me see. Let's say you will have a different packaging. So let's say when you pack your product, you use a beautiful packaging. Okay, it is really important to have a customized packaging, a customized store, a customized product. The most customized you will be your product, the most it will differentiate from others. Okay, I'm going to interrupt now because Gosa Snake is asking. The main problem is not business ideas, it's the money that I need to start the business. So, how could we get the money? This is a great question. Thank you, Snake, for sharing that with us. And I think, how can you get the money? So let's say, for example, you will need $5,000 to open your business. Okay. So what am I going to do to raise that money? You can work, okay, for someone and start to saving some money. So let's say you are going to work for 2 years for someone and you are going to raise some money so you can open your business later. This is the first option. We have the second option, that is selling a cheaper product first so you can get the goal to open your main idea. So, for example, let's say you need $10,000 to open a pharmacy. You have the dream of opening a pharmacy and you need $10,000 to do that. So let's say you are going to sell candy. Let's say you are going to sell food. Let's say you are going to sell juice. So we are going to think in a second option of business, a more simple one where we can raise some money. Okay, I know. Oh, but Kevin, I want to open my business. I don't want to do anything else. Okay, but if we are in a vulnerability position, we need to think in a way to get out of it. Okay, so we need to think on what can I do to raise this money. Here in Brazil, it is really common that people not after, before opening the store, they sell traditional candies from Brazil. We have a candy here in Brazil called Brigadeiro, okay? And we have a lot of people who sell Brigadeiro at the streets. They sell door to door. They are going door to door asking people if people want to buy their candies. So there are a lot of ways that we can raise money. Okay, the first one is to work for someone. If you do not have any single money to invest, you will need to work for someone, and you will raise some money so you can open your business later. And if you want to open your business first, you probably will have to think in another way to raise this money, like selling candies, selling a product which is cheap. So let's say, for example, you invest in five candies that you have paid $2 on each one. So you have spent $10 to invest. And let's say you are going to sell those products for $5. So you have paid $2 and you are going to charge $5. So every single sale, you are going to earn $3. So if you have invested $10, okay, you are going to have before it, let's say you sell five products by five, you are going to have $25 now. So you take those $25 and do the same, okay? You invest and sell, you invest and sell. And once you have the right quantity, you can start to save some money, okay? So you can start with few too, okay? There's no problem. Could you guys understand? I don't know if it can be very, I don't know if it was very clear for you guys. So please let me know, okay, if you guys could understand. There's no problem, you guys ask, okay? Yes, it is really important to start from the bottom. Okay, you got the right sentence to define it. You guys need to start from the bottom, and then you guys will get into your dreams. Okay? So let's move on to the next one. So let's understand, guys, how do we price? Okay, this is really important. Okay, and for that, we will need to understand about fixed costs. We need to understand about variable costs. We need to understand about profit margin, and we need to understand about the formulas we are going to use. Okay, I'm sorry guys, because when I show you guys the prices here at the examples, they are at Naira. Okay, so I'm going to say US dollars. Okay, so don't be afraid about the value. I know some of the values are going to be really expensive, okay, because when we talk about $500, it is a lot of money, okay. Even for Brazil, the dollar is really above our current money, okay. But I'm going to use the example saying dollars, okay. You guys will have that you guys will see that we will have the number and any GN at the side of it, because this is the example we took from Nigeria. Okay, so please do not mind of it. I haven't changed, because if I had changed it, I would change the entire formula. So I didn't want to mess up with the explanation. Okay, so I'm going to say dollars, but you guys will see the symbol of the naira, which is the Nigerian coin. Okay, so please do not do not mind about that. Only pay attention at the explanation. Okay, guys. So fixed costs. Sorry, let's go back. So fixed costs are called the big villain. And why they are called the big villain? Let's understand. So these are all costs we need to pay monthly, regardless of the business results, like expenses such as rent, telephone bills, so water, electricity, employees' salary, okay, and also our own salary, okay. Fixed costs are the big villain because we need to pay them regardless or whether we have sold a lot or a little in the month. We can defeat this villain with planning and financial organization. So let's be careful, not mix to do not mix our personal fixed costs, okay, with business fixed costs. So we need to understand what are our personal fixed costs and what are our business fixed costs, because our fixed costs cannot be paid by the business costs, okay. We need to separate them, okay. So it is really important, guys, to define a salary. So let's say, oh, I want to win $1,000 a month. So we are going to make a goal, and we need to understand how much do we need to sell to get into this goal, okay. Oh, Kevin, but get into my goal at the first month. There's no problem. Okay, it is really common that you guys will not get into your goals at the first month. But then when you guys get better into finding arguments, when you guys get better into selling your products, you guys will get into your goals quickly. Okay, and it will be easy every single time you guys do it again. Okay. So let's be careful to do not mix personal or fixed costs. Okay, guys. So let's move to the next one. So we have the fixed costs. Okay. So our DNA by necessity says it all out of necessity. We can include personal costs like owner's salary, like a prolabor. Okay. Prolabor is the same word for salary. Okay. Is in a word for the owner's salary. Okay. So I'll call it the owner's salary, not prolabor. Okay, in the line of the fixed business costs. Okay, so our DNA by necessity says it out loud. Of necessity, we can include personal costs like owner's salary in the line of the fixed business costs. So we have entrepreneurs fixed costs, okay, which are going to compose our salary. So let's say we spend $600 of food, we spend 50 dollars of water, we spend $50 of electricity, we spend $50 of internet, and we spend extras $600. So the total of our fixed costs is $1,350 at this example. Okay, I'm using dollars because it is easier to explain for you guys. Okay, so here on the left, we have the entrepreneur fixed costs. At the right, we are going to have the fixed costs of the business. Okay, so we have the first thinking here as the owner's salary because we need to pay our salary. Okay, we are working to have a salary. So if we do not have a salary, there is a problem at our business. So we are going to define a salary and we are going to see it as a bill. We need to pay our salary. Okay? Of course, we will pay other things first, like bills, like rent, electricity, water, internet, main things. But then we are going to pay our salary too. Okay? And guys, it is really important to define a salary because when you guys get into the goal to pay your bills and your salary, what you sell more will become a profit, okay? And this profit will stay at the company so it can be reinvested. So you can reinvest into new machines, you can reinvest into new products, okay? You can invest in a different company, okay? So it is really important, guys, to take the profit and to use it at your company. That's why we define our salary, okay? So when we make this sum of owner salary, rent, electricity, water, internet, and maintains depreciation, we are going to put it all together and we have the total of $2,300 of fixed costs of the business. Okay, so the entrepreneur's fixed costs was $1,350 and the fixed costs of the business are $2,200. Okay, so we have the variable cost too, which is the total opposite of the other one. Okay, variable costs is every cost which vary based on our production. Okay, so let's read together to understand how it works. So variable costs, it's how much it costs me to produce and deliver my product or service. Expenses such as raw materials, packaging, transportation, and commissions. Okay, so it varies significantly depending on the quantity of items I deliver. Okay, so if my business sells and deliver three homemade breads, I will spend an X amount. And if it is 300 homemade breads, the value of X will be so much bigger. It will be 10 times of the first one. Okay? So if I have spent $10 to make 13 homemade breads, I'm going to spend $100 to make 300. Okay? So the costs are going to be so much bigger. Okay? So how much does it cost to me to make and sell one homemade bread? Okay, we need to understand exactly how much do we do we need to understand how much do we pay to make a product. Okay, so let's calculate the unit a of one homemade bread. Okay, so when we talk about food, guys, we are talking we are talking about recipes, okay? And sometimes when we are talking about recipes, we need to understand that a recipe will give us more than one unit. For example, this example of a homemade bread will give us 10 loaves, okay? So to calculate the unit variable costs of one homemade bread, we need the following data: total cost of ingredients and materials used to make the recipe that yields 10 loaves. Okay? Total quantity of loaves processed with this recipe. So let's consider a simplified example. Okay? So suppose that the ingredients for the recipe to make 10 homemade bread loaves costs $20 in total. So to make 10 breads, we spend $20 in total. If this recipe yields 10 loaves, then the total variable cost is $20 for 10 loaves. Okay? To calculate the unit variable costs of one homemade bread, divide the total variable costs by the number of loaves produced. So if we have spent $20 to make 10 breads, we are going to divide $20 for 10 breads. And we got the amount of $2. Okay, so to make every single bread of like this, we are going to spend $2. Could you guys understand? I think it is easy to understand that. But if you guys don't, there's no problem. I'm going to explain you guys later at the consultancy at the mentorship program. Okay, so it will be really important for you guys to be joining the mentorship program so you guys can make exercises and learn how to do it. Okay, so it is really important, guys. How do we get into how much we spend into a recipe? Okay, so we need to make fractions and portions of our products. Okay, so for example, okay, let's say we are going to always take the price times the usage divided by the quantity. For example, let's say the milk. So let's say I pay in a bottle of milk, I'll pay $4. Okay. The usage will be 250 milliliters. Okay. The quantity will be 1000 milliliters. Okay. Because we have a liter of milk in a bottle. Okay. We have 1 liter of milk. Okay. So we are going to divide just like that the H station here. We are going to take the price of the milk, which is 4. We are going to make it times the usage. So the usage will be 4. Yeah, and so we are going to, the usage will be 250 ml, okay? And we are going to divide by 1000. So once we make that account, once we make that sum, we are going to get into $1, okay? For sugar, we are going to do the same thing. Let's say we paid $4 at the pack of at the pack of sugar, and we only use 15 grams. Okay, so we are going to divide, and we are going to understand how much we are going to use of every single every single product. Okay, so for 250 ml of milk, we are going to use $1. And for the portion of 15 grams of sugar, we are going to use 20 cents. Okay, so that's how we get into the value. Okay, so what is margin of contribution? Okay, you guys remember when I said that when you make a sale, you do not win the entire value of it, you only will win a part of it. So, for example, if you sell a glass of juice for $5, you will only win $3. Okay? So, guys, at this example, we can see that we are using numbers like 500 and 300, okay? And I'm going to say dollars because it will be easier for you guys to understand, but don't be afraid, okay? I know it will be really really expensive juice for $500, okay? So only use that as an example, okay? There's no problem. So what is the margin of contribution? So the margin of contribution is the amount that each unit sold contributes towards covering the fixed costs of the company and generating profit. It is calculated as the difference between the selling price and the variable costs. Okay? So how to calculate the margin of contribution? Okay? So to calculate the margin of contribution for a glass of juice, follow these steps. Determine the selling price. So this is the price you charge for the juice. Let's assume you will sell each glass of juice for $500. Okay, so don't be afraid about the value. I know it is too much, $500, but I'm only going to use this type of nomenclature so you guys can understand. So let's assume you will sell each glass of juice for $500. Calculate the variable costs. So these are the costs directly associated with producing each glass of juice, such as fruit, cups, sugar, etc. Okay? So the variable costs will be how much do we spend to produce one glass of juice. So let's suppose the total cost of fruits and other materials per glass it is $200, okay? So to calculate the margin of contribution, subtract the variable costs from the selling price. So we are going to have MEC is equal to PV subtracted by CVM by CV. Okay, so MC is equal to PV is equal to PV subtracted by CV. Okay, so MEC is equal to 500. Okay, and PV is equal to 200, and the PV is equal to 500. So we are going to make. So let's say I know it can become a little confused when I explain the formula, but let's say in here we are selling the juice for $500. To make that juice, we are spending $200. So at every sale, we are going to win $300. Okay, it is really easy to understand that. So every 500 sales I make, I'm going to take $200 to replace the raw materials to make more juice, and the other $3 I'm going to separate to pay my bills. Could you guys understand? This is the margin of contribution. The margin of contribution is the amount we win at the sales to pay our bills, because we need always to replace our raw materials, okay? And if we do not make this difference about how much do we pay and how much we have spent to make our product, we probably will have some problem in the future too. We can get out of raw materials, for example. So it is really important to understand and always to determine how much we have of margin of contribution. Okay. So break-even point. What is the break-even point? The break-even point is the sales volume required to cover all fixed costs of the company. In other words, it is when total revenue is equals to the total costs, resulting in neither profit or nor loss. Okay? How to calculate the break-even point? So to calculate the break-even point in units, number of glasses of juice, follow these steps. So determine the fixed costs, which we are going to call CV. Okay? So these are the costs that do not vary with the quantity produced, such as rent, salaries, electricity, and etc. So let's assume your monthly fixed cost is $150,000. So to calculate the break-even point in units, okay, we are going to divide those $150 by 300, that is the margin of contribution we win on every sale. Okay, so I'm going to take 150,000 divided by 300. So we are going to make 500 of glasses of juice. Okay, it's not that much, guys, because if we divide that by 24, the 500 divided by 24, we'll need to make 21 sales a day to get into our goals. Okay, so that's how we pay our rent. We had someone talking something like that at the chat. So Ale Maihu said, when someone opens a shop, maybe in the capital, even if the center of the city, as a startup business, it is difficult to get access to pay for the shop rent. Okay, so when we talk about the shop rent, we are going to use this strategy called the break-even point to understand how much do we need to sell a month to pay our bills. And we are going to make a lot of strategies to get into it. Okay, so let's say I need to sell 21 cups of juice, 21 glasses of juice. Let's say we have sold 15. So at the other day, we will need to sell we will need to sell 27. Okay, so if I do not sell in a day, I need to recover in another day. And if I had a day that I sold 40, 40 glasses of juice, we will have a, a easier way at the other day, at another day. Okay, so it is really important to understand how much do we need to sell a month, a week, and a day to get into our goals. Okay, could you guys understand that? I think it can become really, really clear. I think it was really clear for you guys. If you guys have any questions, please use the YouTube chat. Okay, I'm always reading to see what you guys are thinking. Okay, so $500 per cup of juice is the variable cost, and the variable cost is 200. Okay, so if we earn $300 per cup of juice, we will need 500 juices to per month, so we can get into our point of break-even point. So to price your dues and ensure the sustainability of your business. Calculate the margin of contribution. Okay. Ensure that the selling price covers the variable costs and contributes to fixed costs and profits to determine the break-even point. Know how many cups you need to sell to cover all fixed costs. So you need to monitor your sales. If you are selling below the break-even point, you are operating at a loss. Above the break-even point, you are making a profit. Okay? By understanding these concepts, you can make informed decisions about the selling price and the sales strategies to ensure the sustainability and the growth of your business. Okay? So it is really important that you make a research to the competitors, because if competitors are charging too much and you have a cheaper price, people will think your product is cheaper, is he has pure quality. If you are charging too much, people will think that the product is really great. So this will be really important to position our brand and to define how much we will charge people. Okay. So why do we need to know our competition? It is essential to understand our competition in order to position ourselves in the market, price correctly, and develop a marketing strategy. My cat just come to the live. She always like to appear in here, so say hi to her. Hi. She always like to appear at the classes. So let's move on in here. So this is the price versus competition matrix. Okay, so you guys will need to fill out a card like that. Okay, so this is a matrix where we make a when we compare, okay, the competitor A, B, C with your company. So let's say the competitor A, B, and C also sells juice, but competitor A charges $450. Competitor B charges $400. Competitor C charges $350, and your company charge $500 per glass of juice. So the quality of the competitor A is high, the quality of competitor B is medium, the quality of the competitor C is low, and your company is high too. The market share of competitor A is 30%, the competitor B 25%, and the competitor C 20%. Strengths will have a high quality strong brand, a competitive pricing for competitor B. Competitor C has as a strength low price and wide distribution, but they have a lower quality. And your company have a high quality and a unique recipe. As a weaknesses, competitor A have a higher price, competitor B have a average quality, competitor C have a lower quality as a weakness, and your company have a higher price and also is new to the market. So in here, guys, we are going to compare our company to our competitors so we can reach so we can know what kind of target audience we are going to reach. Okay, if we charge people more than our competitors, so we are going to get people who are seeking for quality, and we are charging less than our competitors, we are seeking for people who looks for cheaper prices. Okay, so this is only will change our strategy. Okay. So business location versus benefit. Okay. So we are going to understand how much it is important to have a business location. Okay. And how much it will bring us benefit. So how does my location of my business impact my employees, suppliers, and customers? It is worth to invest in a better location? So we are going to find out together, okay? So location versus benefits matrix. This matrix helps in evaluating the benefits and the drawbacks of different business locations for employees, suppliers, and customers. So if we, I'm going to read every single line at once, okay? So how much it is important for our employees. So if I have a low quality location, I will have a low morale and a high turnover. I will have difficulty to attract talent because people who has talents do not want to work in a low quality locations business, okay? If we have a medium quality location, we will have a moderate morale and moderate turnover to easier to attract talent. If we have a high quality location, we will have a high morale, we will have a low turnover, and will become easily to attract and retain top talent. Okay. We have suppliers. Okay. So if we have a low quality location, we will have high transportation costs for our suppliers and unreliable delivery times. To have a medium quality location, we will have moderate transportation costs and more reliable delivery times. And if we have a high quality location, we will have low transportation costs and reliable delivery times. About customers, we will have a low foot traffic, limited customer base, and lower sales potential at a low quality location. When we talk about a medium quality location, we will have a moderate foot traffic, growing customer base, and moderate sales potential. Okay. When we talk about a high quality location, the customers will have a high foot traffic, high customer base, and higher sales potential. Okay, so the best is our location, guys. The easy will be to get into great employees, to get great suppliers, and to get more customers. Okay, so the best is our quality, the better. Okay, so in here we have the same formula for the margin, for the profit margin. Okay, so the percentage of profit margin is equal to the profit divided by the selling price times 100. Okay, so for a profit margin of 20% on the sale, the formula becomes profit selling price times 0.20. Okay, so the example of the calculation is if the selling price is $500, the profit will be equal to 500 divided by 20 cents, okay, which is equal to 100. Okay, so the profit margin will be 100 for each unit sold as $500. Okay, could you guys understand? Now I'm going to show you guys about how to fill out the the cards. Okay, I just want to remember again, you guys, that we need to register. Okay, so I'm going to share the guide again. I'm going to show you guys again how to register. Okay, so you guys will enter this site, okay, of Peace Building through Entrepreneurship Ethiopia. Okay, so you guys can click here on register and you guys will click again at register. Okay, and will pop up another guide with the forms so you guys can fill out with information. Okay, you guys will see something like that. Okay, you guys need to fill out with your information so you guys can be part of the mentorship program. Okay, it is really important, guys, that you guys fill out every card and also that you guys make the register. If you guys respond every card and do not make the registers, guys won't be able to be part of the mentorship program. So first register, then you guys respond the cards, okay? So I'm going to share with you guys, okay, about the students portal again. So you guys will go down below it and you guys will find the online cards, okay? We had people asking, what are the online cards? The online cards are these, okay? Each one of them is going to be about the class we are at, okay? So the card 3 will be about business, competition, and location, okay? So let's fill out together. I'm going to share the other guide because it will open another guide, okay? So just like we could see in here, we have the Ethiopia 2025 card 3. Okay, so we have 11 questions. So let's start. So remember again, use the same name, okay? Do not change the name, not even a single letter, okay? Use the same name you guys used before, okay? So Kevin da Silva is my name. Next, I'm going to put my email in here. Also use the same email, okay? So what's my main product? I'm a singer, okay? So my main product is singing, right? So do I have a manufacturing process? What is the process? So I record, so I learn a music, a song, right? I learn a song, I record it, my client, my customer sees it at the internet and then hire me to make a performance. So I take my equipment, to the location and present the present myself. Okay. So next, price. Okay. So this is really important. So my main product is to perform. Okay. My secondary product is singing, and my neighborhood location. So this is the competitor A, okay? So competitor A perform, competitor B also perform, and I perform, okay? Secondary product, sing, 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 sing. Sorry guys, I'm explaining it wrong. Because this is about how much do we charge, not about what we do, sorry. So we are going to put in here, how much do we charge? So let's say my competitor A charged for a show $200. Competitor B charged 300 and I charge $500. Okay. The secondary product will be music production. So let's say they charge $15 to producing music. This one charge 150 and I charge 200. Okay. Competitor A work with low income people, low income. Competitor B middle, and mine is middle too. Okay, it is a small, medium, and medium. Brand, it is little, medium, and medium. Okay. So describe an advertising strategy for your product or service. So online videos and contract and contacts. Next. It is easy to access. Yes. What the cost of transportation? Medium. Is your location important? No, because I come into my clients. I came into my client's house. Okay, so there's no problem. It is easy to access. Yes. Suppliers. Yes. What is the cost of transportation? It's low because I live in a big city, so it's low. Is the location important? No, it is not. No. Employee location, supplier location. Go back in here. Is your location important? Little. Next. It is easy to access. Yes. Because of transportation. Medium, because sometimes they live. So very. The location is important. Very. Next. Where will my business be located? Nowhere is a digital platform. We review the market, survey, and ask, is this worth for paying for a good location? For me, don't. Okay, so you send, and now you are ready. My cat wants to show here. So thank you guys for being in here. Okay, just like I said, guys, it is really important to fill out every card. Okay, so if you guys do not fill out the cards, you guys won't be able to join the mentorship program. My cat wants to show, she wants my attention. She wants my attention here. So thank you guys. I I think today's class was really great. The students portal will be sent for you guys at the group. Okay, I'll ask for the team to change to send you guys at our Telegram group. Okay, so the next gen entrepreneurs group. Okay, I'm going to send it in there. Okay, I'll ask for someone to send it in there, and also the links of the cards. Okay, I'll ask someone to send the first, the second, and the third one. Okay, so thank you guys a lot for being in here. I'm going to take my cat out because she wants to play with me. Out. So thank you guys. I'll, I'm really glad for having you guys in here, participating, commenting. Okay, higher appreciation for your attractive ways of explanation. Thank you. I'm really happy to have those compliments in here. They are really important for me. So thank you guys for being in here, and see you guys tomorrow. Okay, we have the fourth class tomorrow. This week is ending, but the course is only beginning. Okay, we have the second part, which is the mentorship program. Okay, so please register, and then you guys need to fill out every single card. Okay, so bye bye everyone. See you guys tomorrow. My cat is in here. She wants my attention. Goodbye, everyone. See you guys tomorrow. And if you are watching this later, please let us know if you are facing any problem, okay? Goodbye, everyone. Bye bye.